Today I'm going to show you how to get up and running with AMP as both a CLI and a VS Code extension. First, you can see I've got VS Code installed here. So you just go to ampcode.com, sign up, and then you click this install button, and then install AMP for VS Code. And look, we've got AMP ready to go. AMP requires an open folder to get started, so let's open a project. Now that we have the AMP code base up and running, let's get started with our first thread. All you have to do is click here on the AMP icon, and then this is a thread. What I always like to do first is call the Oracle. Oracle is a read-only agent that we've installed in AMP that allows you to get context about an application, debug it, or just explain something to you. You'll notice to ask the Oracle, I just had to call it by name. We try to keep the level of buttons and settings to a minimum in AMP so that it's a clean, easy to understand interface. Calling the Oracle is as simple as mentioning it in natural language. One special thing about AMP is that we don't just hit enter, you have to hit command enter. While this is working, there's one thing I want to point out here. Down at the bottom of the screen, you can see this 4% of 368K. This is the percent of the context window that you've used in AMP. You may have heard of context drift when it comes to using AI agents, or when the amount of information that you're using with an agent gets too long, the agent can start to get confused. And so in AMP, we have this percentage calculator to show you how much information you've given to the agent, and when it starts to get too large, it might be time to open a new thread. Here you can see we've got a high-level overview of the AMP codebase. Before we jump into the CLI, there's two other things I want to show real quickly. If you click this gear icon up here on the right, you'll be able to see the advanced settings. Here you can see the built-in tools that we ship with AMP, and here's where you can add your own MCP server if you want to do that. Now I mentioned when your context window gets a little bit too large, you may want to open a new thread. That's what that plus button here is for. I can go ahead and hit plus, and then I'll open a brand new thread with AMP. Those are just some of the basics when using AMP inside VS Code. Now let's open up AMP as a CLI. First, we need to install AMP. So we'll just copy and paste this, install. Now that we've installed the AMP CLI, all I have to do is type AMP, and then it will start a thread. And then I can ask it the same question I asked in the VS Code extension. One thing I want to point out is to-dos. AMP takes whatever your request is and creates its own to-do list so that it makes sure to stay on track. And there we go. Now it's done. We've got a high-level overview of the AMP code base. There's a lot more to learn when it comes to using AMP as either a CLI or a VS Code extension. We have extensive documentation at our owner's manual. If you just go to ampcode.com/manual, and you can see all the information you'll ever need to know to get started with AMP. Now, I hope this helps you get up and running and using AMP for the first time.